All right, mate.
Alrighty, mate. Let's do it. So for those of you who have been waiting, it's time. Golden Eagle, 17 horses. We're going to go through them runner by runner. We're going to sort the pretenders from the contenders. Like I said, disappointing field considering what we could have had this year. So many good horses that aren't here. An Angel Capital, a Lady Shenandoah, a Treasure of the Moment, Aliana. The list goes on. But unfortunately, we've ended up with a couple of really good horses and then a long list of horses that have absolutely zero chance in this race. For those of you who are stat merchants, I'll go through 4 really key ones here because a lot of them pertain to Autumn Glow. Only one female has won this edition, but it's a young race, so, I mean, nothing to scream about. Only one favourite has won, though. This has been a race where a lot of favourites have gone under. And a lot of boom horses have gone under. Amelia's Jewel famously went under. Fangirl famously went under.
Hasn't been one like this, though.
That's a very good point. Only one horse has won from a double-digit barrier, and internationals have won 2 editions of the race, which might not sound like a lot, but again, it's a young field. I'm pretty sure this is the 7th running, so it's a 33% strike rate for your internationals. And they've won 2 of the last 3 as well. So take with that what you will. But mate, like I said, I can judge the field all I want, but let's just have a look at it.
Yeah, get straight into it. Evaporate is your number 1 horse. You got Feroce at 51. You got Linebacker at $6. You got Sepples at 17. This is all on Dabble. Willie Do It at 17. You got Fully Lit at 34. You got Depth of Character at 101. Lord Penman at 71, Mayfair at 81, Shangri-La Spring at 71, Crystal Clear at 100, Panja Tower, your Japanese horse at $6, Seagulls 11, sorry, at $26, your Irish horse Autumn Glow at $2.10, Perfumist at $17, Modella at 101, Eclair on Core at 100. Or 200 to 1.
Yes, mark it there on Dabble. Use code MOX Sports if you're signing up to let them know we sent you. Set a deposit limit. Think about what you could be buying instead when doing so. But plenty of bets going on Dabble this weekend. Let's have a look at the speed map now, mate. I mean, the leaders are likely to be Perfumist from that inside barrier to kick up. Fully Lit has to come from a bit of a wider barrier, but it's going to need to be at the front if it wants to factor. Crystal Clear probably going to push forward as well, as does Shangri-La Spring and Mayfair from their wider barriers there. Linebacker, Evaporate, Sepples, Feroce, Autumn Glow, Eclair on Core, Panja Tower, Seagulls 11, and Depth of Character, all to probably make up the midfield. I think, though, that those internationals probably more towards the back of the midfield, whereas those linebackers, Evaporates, Autumn Glows, more at the top of the midfield, closer to that off-pace sort of position there. And then to be coming from the back is your Lord Penmans, your Modellas, and your Willie Do It's. Well, let's go through runner by runner now, mate. The number 1 horse in the field, Evaporate. The Hayes Boys trains. Nash Rural is going to ride from barrier 7, $11 to win, pretender or contender.
Look, I'll be honest. I think it's one of the better chances out of not too many that I give a chance, but I don't think it's going to win, so it's got to be a pretender for me. There's just better chances. I just don't like horses that travel up for a lot of these races, and Evaporate is one of them here at $11. It's just not one for me to have.
Yeah, look, decent enough horse in ripping form this prep, and his form has been franked multiple times, especially with Transatlantic last weekend, absolutely killing his opponents. But I think gives me Tom Kitten vibes from last year. Because this horse is in good form and will love the long straight and really being able to stretch out in those final stages, I think he's going to absolutely fly in the last 100 metres and snag a place or come into that first 4, but I just don't see him winning. Like, Tom Kitten jumped out of the ground those last stages and went, oh my God, like, Tom Kitten could win this thing, but just snuck into the placings in the end. I think Evaporate's similar, so pretender for me.
Feroce.
Yeah, Sutton trains, Josh Parr rides from barrier 10, 51 to 1.
Yeah, pretender, let's be honest. There's better chances for sure. Don't even think it's much of an exotic play, to be honest.
Yeah, look, won the Australian Guineas in the autumn, but hasn't done a whole lot since. Best result would be his 1 length third to Sepples in the Rupert Clark Stakes. Do think he's probably a bit overlooked in the market at 50s. If you shopped around, I'm sure you'd get a decent price for maybe a top 6. Fail to see him winning. I reckon top 6 is his ceiling, which you'll hear for a few horses here. We move to number 3, linebacker. O'Shea and Charlton ride. They train. Lloyd sticks with the ride out of barrier 5, 6-1, 2 to place. What do you reckon?
Pretender for me here, mate.
Wow.
This is a big call, and I think a lot of people won't like it as usual. I really liked him at the 1300, and he went back down. I think he struggled the start before at the 1400, and he at the 1600 as well. He's proven that he's hasn't looked the best, especially against some better horses. I understand this field is a lot weaker. But I just think the jump up to the 1500 from the 1300 last start is going to be too much for him, and he will be there, and I think he'll be in a place chance for sure, but I just don't see him getting on top of Autumn Glow.
Yeah, look, I'm going to have to disagree with you there and say Contender. I think he is literally the only Aussie horse that could potentially beat Autumn Glow. So that spoils a lot of the rest of what I think of the rest of the field, but I mean, he had trial lovers absolutely frothing in the mouth when he beat Cutting Rising Home, and then everyone loaded into him in the Silver Eagle. We tried to get him beat, and he just didn't get beat. He was that good and comes here with a bit of style. I mean, I know what you're thinking there when it comes to the shorter distance. He's a Randwick Guineas winner at 1600, and I mean, he did finish a length off in the Doncaster, but that Doncaster run was with 49 kilos on his back. It's a handicap. He's up to the set weights here. I see what you mean there. I think a case can be made with that when you're looking at the weights, but I just do think that if any Australian horse is going to beat Autumn Glow, it's going to be this one. Draws well, will be one of the strongest late. Yeah. We go to Sepples. Brown trains, Brown rides out of barrier 6, 17-1, Pretender or Contender.
Contender for me. I think one of the better roughy chances that can get it done. Forgiving the last start in the two-rack, but winning the Sir Rupert Clarke was very impressive. And yeah, I think at that price, I'd be very, very happy to have a ticket on it, and I think it's a chance. It's a sneaky chance, but it's a chance.
I'm saying Pretender here. The Rupert Clarke win was good, holding off the late challengers, but again, we look at weight. 52 kilos in that race, and then jumped back up to, more weight for age, and then now set weights. I mean, also didn't help that it got horribly checked and picked up a leg injury. Apparently he's recovered well enough to line up here. I just question how healthy he is. He was close to being a contender for me, but I think he's going to need to be at 110% to beat Autumn Glow. I doubt that he is, hence Pretender. We move to number 5, Willie Do It. Mayer trains, Clark rides out of barrier 11. Again, another 17-1 chance.
Pretender for me. Disappointing so far, I think. This start would have wanted him up a lot closer near Headley, Grange and Gringotts in that last start for it to be a contender. So Willie Do It. Pretender for me.
Yeah, Pretender as well for me. He's a big boy that's always flashing late, but I think that's because much like Kovalika, who was forced to go down this path when he was 4, he's more of a 2,000-metre horse. He won a derby, so he's going to be more of a stay-up, but yet because there's the money in the Golden Eagle path, let's send him there. I think he'll be running on again without threatening the win too much. As we move to number 6, Fully Lit for the Waterhouse and Bot Camp. Bayless rides here, 14th barrier at $34 to win. Pretender or Contender?
Pretender, but great exotics chance. I think. Yeah, I really like him for an exotics. As you can see, he's got some great form running around. I can't see him winning, but he ran very well behind Autumn Glow last start, 1.5 lengths. Newcastle start for that. Headley Grange, 1.8 lengths behind. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's good enough for me. I think there's enough there that you can play some exotics for sure. I know there might be a couple of bookies that put out the same market for paying out for second. I know they haven't been in the last couple of weeks. But I know people did for this last race with Autumn Glow and got a nice hefty ticket out for $31 when it won. So Pretender, but let's have a look.
I'm going to go completely the opposite to you and say serious unders here. I'd have him marked way wider. And I say that very much knowing that he's got the Headley Grange form and he's got that Autumn Glow form. Second in an Epsom, I don't sniff my nose at. But again, I'm going back to the weight. Was carrying just 50 kilos that day. Carries 7.5 kilos more today. Meets Autumn Glow with a 6.5 kilo weight swing. So he is in a purple patch career-wise, but with that weight jump plus the sticky barrier, I cannot see him figuring in the finish. Happy to be wrong, but though. Number 7, depth of character. Archibald team trains. Colt's going to ride barrier to 100 to 1.
Yeah, no chance. Much to say, Pretender.
I mean, it's like I said, this is probably the worst edition we've had here because the field's fallen away because all the 4-year-olds have gone elsewhere, which I know the traditionalists will love, but us Golden Eagle enthusiasts hate. He's 100 to 1 for a reason. Only managed third twice in 8 starts at Randwick. Collett maintains he has a good chance and has stuck right with him for that reason, but just simply isn't going good enough to make up all of that ground. The Pen, mate, Lord Penman. Yeah, the Magic Man, Moreira, comes over to ride the Pen at 71 to 1 for the Waller camp out of barrier 16. What are your thoughts?
Pretender, I think the only thing that really would have helped would have been a nice barrier draw. Draws the absolute car park, 16th barrier. No chance. I wouldn't even say it's going to run close in the end, unfortunately, with this barrier.
Well, I'm saying Pretender, but another one where I'd like to say go around, find a top 6 price, could potentially sneak into your first 4. Solid second in the Silver Eagle, good jockey booking, certainly has him in a chance to at least finish in the exotics. I don't think he wins, but yeah, I mean, has the right form behind an Autumn Glow and a linebacker to at least be putting in a decent run. As we move to number 9, Mayfair, Baker trains, Gibbons rides, 15th barrier, 81 to 1.
Pretender, love your deal, but yeah, not going to happen. Don't think it's going to, no chance.
Another one that I could see sneaking a place or run in top 4. Win, no. Top 6, huge chance. As we move to number 10, Shangri-La Spring, Waterhouse and Bot Train, Schiller Ride, 17th barrier, 71 to 1.
Yeah, another Pretender coming out, car park, same reasons, can't get done.
Any chance was gone when he drew 17th barrier in my mind because he needs to be as close as he is to the front to do any sort of damage, and he is going to burn way too much petrol trying to get there to his preferred spot. As we move to number 11, a horse that I just cannot believe is in this race. Again, I can't wait to see it win now for the Archibald team. Knock rides crystal clear, barrier 13, 100 to 1.
Pretender, shop around it for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it runs well in top 5, top 6, get a bit of prize money. Can see why they've done it for sure. But yeah, shop around it, but can't win.
Should be 300 to 1. You're not going to bounce out of a benchmark 88 heavy loss and then win the Golden Eagle. We finally get back to contender territory. Number 12, the Japanese import. You love a Japanese in the Golden Eagle, Nico. Panjatawa with the Hashiguchi team. Matsuyama rides.
Oh, Mr. Hashiguchi.
Yeah, that guy.
Mr. Hashiguchi, yes.
Yeah, know him well. One of my top 3 trainers in Japan, at least. My top 3 favorite trainers.
My favorite.
Barrier 4, $6 to win, $2 to place.
Yeah, contender. They do have a great middle distance horses coming out of Japan, which we've seen in past years in the Golden Eagle. Obam, which was great. Leading contender behind Autumn Glow. I know that kind of gives it away a bit later, but for good reason. They've proved it. It's not too much of a travel from Japan down to Australia, so they get taken pretty good care of. So
they do. Always respect them. Last year's Boom Japanese didn't do too much. It was drawn horribly, though, Ascoli Piccioni. And then the year before that, the Boom Japanese came out and won Obam Burimai. So
good price
Japs,
as well.
they're 1 for 2 in the race. This horse gets 4th barrier, gets to settle wherever he damn pleases. Like I said, I predict that he goes back a slight bit. But I mean, if it wants to push forward, by all means, go right ahead. Seems to have settled into Australian conditions supremely well. They say down there at the yard, it's like he's lived here all his life. Despite his best form being over shorter distances than this, definitely can factor into the finish if it gets the breaks. As we move to the other international raider, number 13, great name for a horse, Seagulls 11 for the Palmer camp. Marquand rides barrier 3, 26 to 1. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Pretender for me. Not my favourite international chance. A lot of debate going around over on social media at the moment about English horses and the way that they're set up and how much better they are than Australian horses. I don't know if you've seen it, but at this distance, I don't see them getting it done. Seagulls 11.
I
Pretender.
mean, UK Raider won the race last year. There's no reason whatsoever this one can't win. I'm saying Contender. Serious wild card, in my opinion. He's won over the mile. He has form around last year's winner, Lake Forest. Loves the softer conditions. Can definitely win in my mind. Do I think it's going to beat Autumn Glow? No. Spoiler for my next tip, because I feel like we're both going to have Autumn Glow on top. But I think it's one of those horses that's going to potentially win without shock, in my opinion. As we get to the girl in question, Autumn Glow, Baby Winks they call her. Chris Waller McDonald kicks Karen McAvoy off and says, thanks for keeping my seat warm. You can go down to Melbourne and take all my rides because I'm in Sydney for her. Barrier 9, $2.10 to win. What are your thoughts?
Contender. Hasn't put a foot wrong, even when challenged in the Epsom. Got it done grittily as well. She should get it done. Drawn nicely, probably a little bit closer to the fence she would have liked, but she can get everything done from there and she can do it. J-Mac, grand final winner. Autumn Glow. I don't know. It's got to be in a multi for everyone on the day.
I know, call us boring, but I always say it, and it's very not very often that the horses of this caliber when I say this, because usually these are horses that are running through benchmarks that I say this, but when horses find this form and they are unbeaten, you have just got to back them till they fail. Okay? She might come out on the weekend and run flat, but you've just got to be on her in my mind. Until she fails, you've got to be on her every single start, because she could be anything. You can still argue that she's not the best horse in Australia because who is she really beaten? But she could just be the next Winks. Everyone and their mum wants this horse to continue on this run because the racing world needs another Winks. Okay? She should just get to the right spot from that 9th barrier. J-Mac will press the button when he needs to. She's going to dig and dig and dig just as she's done all prep, and she's going to get the job done because winners win. And I know our haters love it when we say that because they're straight onto us in the comments saying we have no idea what we're talking about. But, mate, winners do win, and you just got to be on it. As we move to 15th, Perfumist, Baker trains for King out of barrier 1, 17 to 1. What are your thoughts?
Pretender. Interesting, this one. I've been seeing a lot of talk on social media about this horse, about running some better times than Autumn Glow's been running, and obviously falling behind Idle Flyer last start is good form to go off. But yeah, interesting one. Another one that I think will be up and around, but I just don't see her being up on top. So it's going to be Pretender for me, but you can shop around her for sure.
Yeah, going to look dangerous for a long way. Sole leader, potentially, even if Fully Lit doesn't get all the way over there, because it's from the inside barrier. We know that this horse likes to even do like a Pride of Jenny style leading sometimes, where it just goes as hard as it possibly can and says, try and stay with me. You'd have to think she eventually fades in a high pressure race like this, and with an Autumn Glow chasing her down, I think it's a step up compared to an Idle Flyer that she's been running with the last couple of starts. So I just can't see her beating Autumn Glow. Place is her best chance. Pretender for me. As we move to a couple of, I think, going to be pretenders here. Modella, Chad Schofield rides for the Curtis Camp at a barrier 12.
Yeah, Pretender. I thought these two were literally... You'd think they're emergencies if you didn't know, because this is obviously like a 4-year-old race.
I know, again,
everyone knows.
Everyone knows that it's a 4-year-old race. You would think these guys are not the best 4-year-olds going around. How are they in this field? Meant to be an 18-horse field with 4 emergencies, but we didn't even get there.
No.
17 horses flat, Pretender. And then Eclair Encore. I know one person out there, Claire Winter, shout out to you. You're going to be having $1 on this just because of its name. Jay Ford rides, Chris Lee's trains. Thoughts?
Pretender. Same again.
Yeah. Would be very, very shocking to see it win. So, mate, I think we've both spoiled our tip, but who are you on and why?
Autumn Glow, who I'm on, top 4 across the line. I don't think I need to explain why I'm on Autumn Glow. I think everyone should be, and if you're not, at least have her in some kind of multi during the weekend. I think you're stupid if you don't. Autumn Glow, I've got Seppels running in second. I've got Panja Tower finishing in third. And then I think Perfume is finishing in fourth.
Fair enough. I've said what I've needed to say. I've said what I've needed to say. Autumn Glow, back her till she fails. Get around her, get on the train. She could just announce herself as the country's best horse on the weekend. And by this time next year, she could be just anything. She could be Australia's favourite horse. She's already almost its most marketable horse. We're desperate for her to just keep building this picket fence. And I think the only thing that somehow beats her is the same thing that a couple of boom favourites have happened to them in this race. And that's she just gets blocked off and she doesn't get a clear lane to the line. If J-Mac gets those elbows out and gets her a clear lane to the line, she is going to win this race. She is just too good. Back her till she fails because you just don't know how good she is. First four over the lines, Autumn Glow, Panja Tower to run a flashing second, line backer to look really dangerous until Autumn Glow runs it down, and then Seagulls 11 to sneak through there. Kind of like what Lake Forest did last year, but instead of actually getting up, just manages a placing. It's literally Autumn Glow, linebacker, and the Internationals. The only four that I've said is a contender. They're the only four I can see factoring in the finish, so I'm going to stick with them with my first four.